Yo, this is Kingearner coming to y'all live and direct. I want to first send condolences out to all the people that was murdered August the 20th, 1987, and they all was murdered at the hands of AZIE. The reason why I say they was all murdered at the hands of AZIE, FAISON, or whatever his last name is because any human being, I need for y'all to understand this part right here. If you bring drugs to anyone's home, they're liable to get robbed, they're liable to get killed, they're liable to get kidnapped, anything is liable to happen. And because AZIE was such a weak individual, the people that robbed him knew how far they could go. And they wanted to make an example. And that example was the people that was in there. And of course it always go like that. I mean, I remember hearing about car accidents and the person driving probably have a few bumps or scratches on them, but the people that's in the car usually die sometime. In the life that we live, and the life that I once lived, we must understand that, and this message is clear tonight to the youth. I want the youth to really understand this, that if you bring drugs in your house, 9 times out of 10, what happened to AZIE is liable to happen to you. So there is no way, shape, or form can you be surprised if people come into your home to rob you. There is no way, shape, or form should you be an individual that's looking for a way out once you get robbed. Because usually, and I know this happened with AZIE, FAISON case also, when the people got murdered, I'm pretty sure the police told him, if you don't tell on the individuals, you will be charged with these homicides. At the end of the day, you're the cause of it. It's causes and effects in life, and I've spoken on these causes and effects before in life. And I gave you guys the understanding that what? If an individual brings drugs in their home, around their family are liable to be murdered or go to jail. Now, who wants to put their family in jail? I remember coming up as a youngin', my grandmother would always kick me out of the house. She would always find a way, to kick me out because I was selling drugs in her home, and she never honored that. This is what the elders don't honor. They don't honor you selling drugs, period. My grandmother never took drug money from me. And they don't honor drugs being around the home. And I would think that anybody who's really in the streets, like they have enough sense, wouldn't have drugs around innocent individuals. Now, we understand that sometimes people make quick moves real quick. Let me do this real quick. Let me do that real quick. And they leave drugs different places. But why would you leave them in a place where women and children are at? That makes no sense to me. It's almost confusing as when I seen individuals sell their own family and homies, moms, and stuff like that drugs. The drugs is poison. We all understand that. So why give it to somebody that you claim that you love or you care for? And this is where our community is going down at, because it may not affect you directly, but the drugs affect everyone in the community individually, somehow, some way or another. We must begin to take control of the mindsets of these youth. When I say take control of the mindsets, once we give these type of messages on platforms and we give them the understanding that, listen, a guy tried this before. A guy tried bringing drugs in the house before, and when he brought drugs in the house, the whole house almost damn near died. That should put fear in a child's heart or a youngin' heart to not have that around their family, because I don't work with fear, but I do agree with you having the fear of people that you love being hurt. So that's where the remorse come in with certain individuals. You'll find a cold-hearted individual, but you'll find out that he loved children. He'll say, can't leave the drugs there, man. Or they'll tell a friend, man, where them drugs at, man? Don't get that out of there, man. Your folks in there, man. Quickly. That's what real friends do. So that's why I believe that, that the story of Rich Porter and AZIE not having a relationship, because their mindsets was 2 different mindsets. They hustled 2 different ways. Think about something. You never hear about Rich Porter's house being ran down. You hear about things that happened on the street. That's when you know an individual doesn't bring their drugs around their family members. Had Rich Porter was an AZIE and had the drugs around his family, his uncle would have been got a hold of those drugs and took them. Bottom line, from what I'm hearing, there's a lot of other people that was in his family that had got hooked to drugs and things of this nature also. I never hear no instance about them stealing from him or lining him up or setting him up. Because you know why? From what I hear, Rich Porter was good to his people. You know, he was very honorable to his folks. He always took into consideration that that's his people, and he always made sure they was good, even the ones that hustle with him. And now you have individuals in the comments, you have individuals saying, oh, well, you should be worried, you should be this. Why should I be worried about anything or anybody? I have nothing to worry about. I have nothing to be afraid of. I have nothing to fear. You know why I have nothing to be afraid of? I have things in my life that are defensive, whereas though I can defend myself. So you have to understand that once you're able to defend yourself to the highest degree, anything after that is the qadr. You see what I'm saying? Because you got the strength, you got the mindset. Now come on. People understand what to do and who to do it to. They understand that certain things that goes along with Kingearner. I will flip this city, I will flip this world upside down when it comes down to my loved ones. And as many of us that have done wrong things in the past of our life, no one knows where our loved ones stay. No one knows where our loved ones live. Thing is that if I was a drug dealer, if I was in the street still, I can't lie to y'all on this platform. I would say that, of course, I would be fearful of what's going on in our community today. And what's going on is that I feel like the OGs is leaving the youngins out, and now the youngins is waking up and turning into animals, and they want what's theirs. They don't have no respect level. They don't care about the type of OGs that disrespect them and go far. And that's what we lose as older men. Because somehow, some way or another, you feel it's okay to talk down to this youngin. I don't feel like that. I feel it's okay to give them the same manners and respect that I want. But a lot of y'all think y'all know everything, so y'all mistreat the children. Y'all treat them like shit, and that gives them a mindset of thinking about their father that left them, their uncle, the stepmom, boyfriend, the mom, boyfriend, or whichever stepmom, whatever way it is that has mistreated them, and they'll take that out on you. And that's where our connection is gone. See, I heard an individual say not too long ago that he's not the youngest friends, he's not here to be their friends, and things like that. I am. I'm their friend. You know why I'm their friend? Because I don't want to see them go through what I went through. I don't want to ever have to do another video on something that like I'm doing now that happened on August the 20th of 1987. I don't want to ever have to have a video to do that for 2018. It's too much going on now. And what's really going on, you have people that run their mouth, right? And can't back it up on no level at all. These dudes don't know how to fight. These dudes don't own a pistol. These dudes don't own a vest. These dudes don't own anything but their mouth that continues to talk. Yes, that's what happens. Bah, 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 bah. Talk. And then when it's time for the pistols to come out, everyone is quiet. And that's what happened August the 20th of 1987. You have an individual who's a big-time drug pen, right? AZIE, A-Z-I-E, FAISON, big-time drug kingpin, right? And not even wearing a pistol on his hip. That's damn near like running around in 2018 without pistols on you. Because ain't no way you running around out here in these streets claiming to be a gangster and you ain't heavy. Because if you are, you need to be telling your family to go ahead and get your grave together now, because somebody's going to kill you. Because guess what? There's always somebody bigger and badder than you. And I learned that as a child. And I'm going to give y'all this. That's how authentic I am. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. I learned that as a child. And my grandmother told me that one day. She said, baby, There's going to be a young boy, a little short guy that whip your ass. You keep playing and you keep messing with people and keep getting in trouble like you this big old bad guy. And I was never this big. I was always a skinny, small guy. Gel done this to me, gave me the weight and the working out and all that nonsense. But that came true. One day I went to school, alternative placement center, shower crawls. And it was an individual that I didn't like. I didn't like him because the way he dressed, the way he walked, the way he talked. I took a pencil in the back of his head and hit him. And he turned around and flared to him. And he got out for a hot second until I got myself together. But for the most part, me and this guy became cool because what I thought was a sucker wasn't a sucker. And that's what happens in this world, man. People underestimate people. And because AZIE thought he was the guy that looked out for people, he felt like no one would ever come back to harm him because he gave things to individuals. And that makes no sense to me at all. You know why that makes no sense to me? Just think and use your brain. This is the drug era. It's not you in a corporate business giving people positive jobs. And even in that instance, you're going to have problems. But in the drug era, in the streets, if you go ahead and if you start showing love and giving people, they're going to want to find out how much more is left. And that's what they wanted to know. Everybody said, well, how could the bull Calvin, I don't know his real name in real life, who played the movie, the one that came back in the house August 20th of 1987 and killed these people. But on the movie, his name was Calvin. Calvin wanted to run his own situation. AZIE wanted to babysit him. And I know everybody going to be in the comments like, no, he supposed to took that 5 or 10 grand a week or whatever it is. And no, not street dudes that like to get busy or like to get in. The addiction to the streets and selling drugs is actually being a part of it. They have to be in it. It's an addiction. You don't understand, then you need to go ahead and try to find out or remember something that you was addicted to, whether it was food, girl, car, whatever the case may be. Find out and you'll see that you've made a lot of mistakes about this addiction, about this thing you was addicted to. If you don't understand that, I don't know what can make you understand. But I will say this. If we continue on, OGs having problem with the little G's, and we all, this will be a genocide. And it's almost turning into that. Look at what's going on in Chicago. Philadelphia is crazy. I know I live in Philadelphia, you know, and I just try to tell the youngins when I ride by them and when I see them, I try to give them my understanding that there is no honor in the streets. I try to let them hear my videos. I send it to them, and I give them stories like Paid in Full, because it's one of the predominantly black movies that you can get everything that's going on in the community still today out of that movie. You can get those understandings. And I don't understand why everybody is mad at me and not peeping the jewels that I'm giving. But I'm going to say to y'all this. I have no reason to lie to y'all or try to make y'all go with what I'm saying. I just want y'all to live. Live to my age. Live to be an individual that say, oh, I done this, but now I'm doing that. You see? I finally reached the point where as though my children will say, my father was a bad guy, but he turned into a good guy. And that's the goal, man. The goal is to get out of that negative mindset and go into a positive one, because all God-fearing religions, all the 3 God-fearing religions, Islam, Judaism, Christianity, they all teach that these things are wrong. And we must start going in the direction of doing the right thing. I'm nobody's preacher. I'm no one's father that's probably watching this. But I will say this, that I'm treating all y'all like my sons, man, like my nephews, man. Even the ones that don't understand and then wind up coming back to my page and saying, you know what, I do understand. I respect y'all. I got a lot of love and honor for y'all. But for you guys that wind up going on the other side when you had a chance of just being neutral, the guy who could have stopped selling drugs and told the youngin to do this and don't and won't, or saying, you know, I don't feel like that, or I don't honor that, cuz you got to speak up, man, because your experience is needed. Then maybe Kingearner don't got to come here and point out the movie Paid in Full as an example for the youngest not to follow. I could point out something that's going on right around us, but so much crumb stuff going on around us that you gotta use an example of something that you see everything going on. And I'm praying that there's a parent right now that's gonna go in their child's room today, gonna go in their child's sneaker, pull a sock out to see if any drugs in there, behind the dresser drawers, the ones that hide their stuff inside the laundry basket with the clothes. And, you know, a lot of nut stuff that we've done. I want for the parents to search their kids' rooms today. Because if you don't, guess what? Your house is liable to be ran up in. And if you find out your child is selling drugs, and even if you took out the house and you know that people know that he lived there, it's best that you get an alarm system. You know why? Because y'all guys not in the streets. So an alarm system is important. Even I have an alarm system in my home to make sure that I'm on point. You see where I'm coming from? Make sure that I'm alerted. By the time the cops come, they're going to be dead anyway. Because I'm not taking no hostages in no type of negative situation because I've turned into positivity. And I want for the parents to understand that. You have to begin to go to that gun range. You have to teach your child to not carry guns until they're the age of 21 years old where they're legally able to carry the guns. You see? And you got to understand, just because you don't get a license to carry does not mean you can't get a gun for your home if you're 21 and you've never been in any trouble. You can get guns for your home to protect your home. People, you have to make your home a place where you live at that's safe for every and anybody, you know? And that means that you can't just have those guns laying around based off of negativity. You gotta make sure that they're put up in the correct places and they had a correct lock, especially if you have little kids. Now, I'm not propagating this and I'm not promoting, go get guns, kill, kill, kill. I'm saying, if you don't want to replay an August 20th, 1987 situation that AZIE got these kids into and these people, then I suggest you get yourself together and get yourself right and make sure that everything is legal, because either you'll end up in dead or you'll end up in jail. Alarm system is a must. Don't be an AZIE, no nothing going on, and people just came in, bum rush. They had a ball in that house. When I say they had a ball in reference to negativity, they had fun to what they would call with fun, and there was nobody else to even step in, to even save these individuals. Youngins, I'm begging y'all today, I'm not praying to y'all, I'm begging Allah to put in your hearts to come away from the streets. I know so many individuals that lost their lives, man, in the last past 10 years since I've been home from federal prison, and I'm gonna say this, man, some of y'all should be happy that y'all in the can locked up somewhere, man, because if you wouldn't be, guess what? I'm sorry to say, you'll be locked in a cell. I mean, you'll be dead in the ground with dirt thrown over you. And some of us don't know our resting place, whether it's going to be heaven or hell. The goal is to stay out here as long as possible. Stay out here, stay away from prison, and stay away from that grave. But first, you must do the things that I told you to do, and that's keep those drugs away from your parents. Keep those drugs away from your family members that you love. Because if you don't keep those drugs from them, the same thing that AZIE allowed to happen August 20th, 1987 will happen in your home. Youngins, do not bring those drugs to your house. Youngins, if your friend, if somebody asks you, can you hold these drugs? No, I don't want to be involved in that. But if you do, and you are in the streets, be prepared for the same type of situation. AZIE, how he almost lost his life. He said that day he met Jesus and God or something. I don't know what he said. He met the devil and God. I don't know what he said, now how it went, but it sounds stupid, but I'm pretty sure after them shots to his head, after them shots riddled through his body and everybody else in there, that man knew not to sell drugs. Oops, hold up. Let me give you an understanding of something. I forgot. AZIE confessed that after that he still sold drugs. What kind of individual is this? Cry about people, family members, get him to stand, testify against guys that was in the streets like him, but yet still get involved. Called greed. Greed. He gave out so much, he felt like the world owned him. He's a loser. And he's going to be somewhere tonight watching this like, wow, that man is speaking the truth. And then whenever he feels as though it's okay to reach out to the community and do things for him. When I say reach out, not bringing up Paid in Full or the movie to get views or likes and all that, but bringing it up to do something positive for the community, man. Harlem needs that. Philadelphia needs that. Chicago needs that. I'm Kingearner from the Honor Your Life campaign. Please, I begged you guys a few times, man. Nix all the dudes in the comments. Never mind them that talk all the trash. I know who they are. Bunch of haters that I know that always go to Instagram or YouTube about me. They just scared to go now because they realize that once they speak about me, everybody follows me. And then when they follow me, they see the new me and they say, oh, this guy may have been like that. But that's not him today. I love y'all all. Peace to my little youngest, man. Hold y'all head up, man. And my condolences goes out to those families that died August the 20th, 1987 in Harlem in that project. That AZIE, he's no good. Kingearner, live and direct.